Hi, my name is Dr. Rayshawn Ray, aiming to speak truth to power, and this is my daily thought. This actually pains me to say, but if Colin Kaepernick isn't signed to an NFL team, I plan to boycott the 2017 season. Now I have to tell you, I'm a huge football fan. I'm a huge football fan. I mean, everybody knows Green Bay Packers is my favorite team. I enjoy watching football every single week, every single day that it's on. But I simply can't support an institution that is going about its business in the way that the National Football League is actually doing it. And I'm going to actually make an argument for why other individuals should actually join in a fan-led boycott on the non-signing of Colin Kaepernick. So the first thing that people say, I'm going to kind of just make a few arguments. First thing that people say is that Colin Kaepernick's statistics aren't up to par. Well, it kind of depends on how you look at it. I mean, on some metrics, I mean, his quarterback rating is over 90. I mean, that is an extremely good NFL rating. For other metrics, I mean, it's significantly lower, but even according to NFL.com, it's still better than several quarterbacks who individuals consider to be elite. Eli Manning, Cam Newton, I mean, Blake Bortles, I mean, and then a series of other individuals who I think for a lot of people who are football fans are trying to figure out even how these individuals are signed over a person like Colin Kaepernick. Oh, yeah, he's actually better than Ryan Tannehill, who I actually really like, who's in Miami. Better than Carson Wentz in Philadelphia. Granted, he's a rookie, but still better than him. Better than Trevor Seaman, who's going to star for Denver. Better than Brock Osweiler. Better than Ryan Fitzpatrick, who keeps getting jobs. And then Case Keenum. So, I mean, and then this isn't even including the other individuals who have been signed to new contracts, and even the individuals who are backing them up. Last year, Colin Kaepernick, I think, threw for 16 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions in the 12 games that he started. Mind you, the San Francisco 49ers were horrible. I mean, they fired their coach. I mean, they essentially did a completely dismantling of their team. Not to take anything away from San Francisco for letting Colin Kaepernick go. I mean, they're clearly going in another direction. What's interesting, though, is there are a few other caveats to this. First, the owner of the San Francisco 49ers actually donated $1 million to support some of the initiatives that Colin Kaepernick was doing. And in turn, ESPN then turned around and awarded San Francisco 49ers a Stuart Scott Award for the type of outreach and activism that they're doing in the community. I mean, I just find these contradictions to be uncanny. So, the other part of this is obviously that part of the reason why Colin Kaepernick is assigned is people say, oh, it's about his presentation of self, the way he looks. So, I mean, so you had Michael Vick coming out saying that it's about Colin Kaepernick's hair. I mean, all you have to do is look at the pictures. I mean, I don't really have much to say. I mean, there are several people in the National Football League who have long hair. So, I mean, saying that a person should cut their hair, I mean, this really harkens back to these narratives we keep hearing about politics of respectability. Politics of respectability are essentially ways that black people should present themselves and govern themselves, particularly in predominantly white settings. And in turn, then they would get accepted as equals. And we know that's simply not the case. In Michael Vick's situation, I mean, here he is. I mean, he was locked up for dogfighting, came back, got a second chance, served his time, great. But now over 100,000 people have signed a petition to stop him from being admitted to the Virginia Tech Hall of Fame. I mean, so these are the types of things that we're going through. Of course, Michael Vick is getting into coaching. So, I mean, so here he is kind of a company man saying some of these arguments. You have other people like Jason Whitlock coming out saying that Colin Kaepernick shouldn't be protesting some of these things, that is stupid. I find it fascinating that we think protesting police brutality is stupid. I also find it fascinating that we come up with all these other reasons as to why Colin Kaepernick isn't signed, when really the reason why he's not signed is because he had been engaging in a silent protest, kneeling down during the national anthem at the beginning of NFL games. What I find interesting about that is that he was doing that for weeks before anybody saw it or said anything. And then when they asked him, he told them. And then it was this outrage. And see, this is the crutch of why, unfortunately, I'm going to have to boycott the NFL for the 2017 season if Colin Kaepernick isn't signed. And again, I'm hurt by this because I play flag football in 2 leagues. I love playing with my friends. I love playing with my family members, but I simply can't support an organization and an institution that's doing what they're doing. And this is the crutch of it. So we're vilifying a person who is engaging in a protest, a silent protest at that, that's in line with his First Amendment rights. And the First Amendment doesn't even say that you have to be silent, but he is. But yet and still, we allow individuals in the NFL, or I should say the NFL allows individuals to play when they have engaged in egregious forms of discrimination and assault against other people. Whether that be domestic assault, whether that be sexual assault, whether that even be engaging in certain types of drug crimes. And that's the other thing. And I'm not really talking about smoking weed here. I mean, I think there's research out there suggesting that the real problem in the NFL has to do with painkillers and the injections that players get to continue to go out. There's a recent study came out showing that 99% of individuals who play football have CTE or had CTE before they died. And this was ranging from high school up through the pros. And so, as always, conversations matter like Black Lives and books. And I mean, I simply can't support an institution that is engaging in their business the way they are because of optics. And we're not actually engaging the serious issues that are at play in the NFL, which I think have a lot more to do with aggression, with concussions, with domestic and sexual assault. And instead, the scapegoat becomes somebody who is actually trying to speak up and speak out against issues that actually affect us all. And the other thing, I find it also fascinating how we love Muhammad Ali, forgetting that if we go back 5 decades, Muhammad Ali was incarcerated for protesting the Vietnam War. Because as he said, the Viet Cong ain't never done nothing to me, right? And so when we think about that, the way we love Muhammad Ali now is that the same people who love Muhammad Ali would be some of the same people who would have hated Muhammad Ali in the 60s. So if you hate Colin Kaepernick now, you would have definitely hated Muhammad Ali. You would have definitely hated Martin Luther King Jr. You would have definitely hated Malcolm X, and the list goes on and on. You would have definitely hated Nelson Mandela. So I find it interesting the contradictions we have and the selective amnesia we have around a set of these issues. So, I mean, I really hope Colin Kaepernick gets signed because I love watching football, but I simply can't do it under these circumstances.